Hello, Outcropticians. I am Jamie. I'm normally found on the Tradespotting YouTube channel, but as Rocky is not feeling very well this week and still recovering, I'm standing in for him. Nice to meet you if we haven't met before. On this channel, we cover technical analysis across anything you might happen to want to look at, including GME, AMC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Tezos, and perhaps we can take a look at other things if you would like. Hello, everybody. Hello, R.A. Woodman. Hello, Janine. Hello, Merrick. Hello, Andy. Hello, Supernova. That's Daniel with $5. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you very much for everybody who supports the channel. It's really appreciated. And thank you, everybody who chooses to tune in here. Oh, yeah, the credits are playing. Stop, credits, stop. Why do the credits not stop? How do I do that, Rich? I have to reclose and open Streamlabs, or I could reset all of the... Session restarted. Are they going to continue? Ah! Okay, I'll hide the credits. I have to close Streamlabs before you open... Stream labels before you open it again or something. Right, so thanks for everybody. Thanks for that, Daniel, for that lucky $5. Thanks for everybody for supports the channel. And thanks everybody who tuned in, chose to tune in today, and choose to tune in here and at Tradespotting. It's really appreciated. Good morning, Luke. Good morning, I'm not a cat. Good morning, Asian Traub. Ashley Lem. We'll chat and I'll say hello to everybody in chat. And then in 15 minutes, or if anything happens in the meantime, we'll go on to the technical analysis on everything everybody wants to cover. In the meantime, I'll just get the chat box, get everything to the right size. I want to break this structure we've put in here because it's starting to look like a head and shoulders. And I say break it when I break it to the top side. And it's debatable how you would even draw that, but certainly something like that. We'll not draw that last line in, but yes, you won't be able to see it very well because it's all very small on the chat box at the minute, but we'll make that bigger shortly. Thanks, Rocky, you're correct. Hey guys, don't forget to hit like. Yes, please, hit like. Thank you very much. Maria S. Good morning, Maria. Marianne Elder. Yes, Jamie, love you and your TA. Thank you very much, Marianne. 1337 Gaming. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Share the video. Yes, please. Share the video on your socials. Click the little share button and share it on your socials. Hey, guys, I'm in Nando's. Gotta go. Tony, sorting, eating, getting those tendies. As usual. Good man, Tony. Enjoy your lunch. Came. Apple Blossom. Mug Shug. Big Chat. Big Jamie. Small chart. What a good bro. Awesome job, GME. Thanks very much, Purple. Good to see you again, buddy. There's a few purples, but I only see one of you today. JAA. Is this a chart for ants? Hey, well, bananas, please refrain from spamming symbols. We need to sort that out on Streamlabs. You're allowed to spam symbols. I think that's fine. Day drinking Jamie. Give me a reason to have another. You've got a day drinking today, are you, Mike? Well, we've got a head and shoulders on the cards, and it may evolve into something negative, it may evolve into something positive, but seeing it there is definitely a good call to have a nice, refreshing brewski. That's what I would say. Looking at that, I'd say, time to crack a beer and see what happens. Okay, I'm putting on my serious face. Jeff Bradford, no live chat for me today. Have a great day, friends. Have a great day, Jeff. Thanks for all you do. Thank you very much. I asked for some feedback about this channel because it's doing great. Everybody's tuning in. Great audience numbers, great. Everything killing it. Rocky's really doing good. Set up a great base here. On Tradespotting, I put on the subreddit, I put in a request for ideas on how we can boost audience numbers over there. And got some really good feedback, like properly honest feedback, and that's what I appreciate. So thanks so much. I'm quite direct and to the point myself. And so all the fuddy-duddy stuff, like I'm not really good at dealing with, like I ignore the like, oh yeah, but I love you stuff, and instead like I look for the critical comments that are like, this is what you really ought to change, and like I'm trying to be honest with you, don't take it the wrong way. I love those comments because I don't take them the wrong way. Helpful. So thanks for everybody who's been giving me feedback over there. It's appreciated. Daniel just bought 20 shares. You got more. You got another bargain there, Daniel. Good work, Daniel. You're killing it out here. Max Greenwell, Jimmy, thanks for answering the bell today. You're welcome, Max. Did I answer the bell? What did I do with the bell? Did I answer it? I did answer the bell this morning. I've been up so early. My nieces are coming to stay. They've arrived. They arrived just before I left to come up here. So I would have been here earlier had it been possible. Is Coco fending for herself? Meow. No, she's got loads of food. She's a little fatty. She's got loads and loads of food. No worries, Dio. How you doing, Joe? Great to see you, man. Your deep fakes are hilarious. No, wait a minute. That's Dawn. Dawn does them. Dawn does the fakes. The deep fakes. Is Coco fending for herself? No, she's cool. She's sorted. So I was up early doing that, cleaning up and making everything comfortable because the nieces are staying in a spare bedroom where you would have normally seen me filming previously. That's the spare bedroom and they're staying over. So I got up early, clean for them, get everything ready. And I was up late. I'm working on a channel. So I'm completely wrecked. As usual. H. Jones, great to see you. Cheers. King Noah, you legend, you. King Noah, how you doing, buddy? Just bought 10. Nice. This is it, right? There's like various people like, this is the thing, you know, price action can come down here and retest this white horizontal. 618. It's very important here. 618 and it's 236. These two numbers, very important. We'd like to see us break this 236. It doesn't matter if we test this 618 and it's probably healthy. People like Daniel and King Noah buying more and more shares. Oh my god, yay, so much fun. Katie Babes, Merrick. Andy A. How you doing, Andy? April's Banana. Apple Blossom, you legend. How you doing, Apple? Janine Jewel. So say hello, everybody. I'm chatting to chat. Say hello. I'll say hello to you. And then in 5 or 10 minutes, probably 5, I'll start doing the TA. And then there'll be no more of the chat. No more until I've done the TA. And I'll even turn down the alerts so that you don't listen to any of that when I'm doing it. If they come in, there won't be any of those noises. And we'll have a reasonable structure to things. Do all the TA we can get our hands on for an hour or so. And then catch up again with chats. So follow some of these ideas for structure that people have suggested, which I'll try and start implementing them here. Rocky's much better at it than I am. GME is the only market orders I'm putting in. Giggity, giggity. Giggity, giggity. I'll say, we mini charting. Yep, we're mini charting today. Damn it, what? Oh, well, there's no real one here anyway. It's on the other screen, this one. But you're right, the browser's not there. Oh, I could put it on, though, as a catch-up with the chat. Queen Bee. Hi, Jimmy. Killa. It was on the other one, was it? Oh, I see there. Yeah, you're right. Correct. That looks quite funny. I like that. I'll just drag it this way, look. It's all good. It's all good, yo. Chat's over there. This is over here. This is all okay, isn't it? Chat like this, I imagine. Chat appreciate these big tickers. Some people only tuning in for the tickers. What's this then? Is this going to go massive? This isn't going to work, whatever it is. Scotland flag. Ah, that's a Scotland flag. Urg. Where is this? Last browser window. That's not it. That's not it. This must be it. Gotcha. Oh no, now it's disappeared. It's disappeared. Disappeared. And instead I can copy and paste. Did that work? Didn't he? No! What is it? Has donated $200? Oh my god! I don't always see a handsome guy, but when I do, it's in the mirror. Does Rocky got to feeling better? Love all of you. Bama Majama, that's a huge donation. Thank you so much. I don't always see a handsome guy, but when I do, it's in the mirror. That's quality. Didn't expect that. That is well worth a laugh. Awesome message. Thanks, Bama Majama. Rocky is feeling a lot better today. Thanks so much, and I'm sure he's catching up with you guys in the Discord, which you're is probably should be paid by now. But so if you want to join, you can, but it'll cost you a little bit of money, but it's definitely worth it. Is that right, Rocky? It's not set up yet, but I imagine it will be by some point soon. You can still get in if you go into the higher levels on Patreon, of course, but they'll be set up a Patreon level that's cheap. It's just for Patreon soon. Glad to hear you're feeling better, Rocky. And when you join that, you'll get access to the Discord, and you won't have to worry then about like how do I get on. But there will be a small fee. That's just the way it goes. The ticker. I was doing it. I was doing the ticker. That's right. Yes, I was doing that. Sorry. Good call. Why is it not like what's control on this command? I'm doing it wrong. That's why I'm hitting control instead of command. Control V. Nope. Clipboard. That's not what I'm looking for. Why is it not giving me a V? Control V. I want to copy and paste it. I'm just going to have to add a new source because it's not giving me copy pastes. So happy to hear Rocky is feeling better. Same here. I can't tell you. Good is sitting pool. He's a bad mama jamma, just as fly as he can be. So worth it. We love the DC. Those things all rhyme. Those things all rhyme. So come on, Streamlabs, do you want to give me the thing I'm asking for? No, it's not working. Anything. This wing won't open or close. This window I've opened. Right, so it looks as though I'm not going to be able to do much with. Stuck on intro clip now. I've got it finally. Phew. Right, Streamlabs is having issues, so I'm going to not mess around with stuff on Streamlabs. I'm going to ignore that now. Thanks so much, Bye Mama Jamma. Bye Mama Jamma. Sophia Alfredson pledged $225 via Patreon. Wait, what? That was 7 hours ago. Oh my goodness. Sophia Alfredson pledged $225 via Patreon 7 hours ago. Sophia, you are an absolute queen. Thank you, Sophia. Instant legend status. Instant legend status for 2 people already this morning. One by Mama Jamma, who's clearly incredible legend around here already, and like amazing crack on the Discord, like he is, like, makes the whole thing like so cool. I love the guy. And then that from Sophia 7 hours ago. Unbelievable support over here. You guys are incredible. Thanks, right? So I'm going to dwell too long on that. Not going to dwell too long on it because other people, it's the channel are supporting. Not the viewers don't need to hear about it all the time. Top of the day to you all. Thanks so much, you people. Dan Wildo, Apple Blossom. You win this round. Drew Saul, how's it going, mate? Epiphany Jones, good to see you. Kevinson. Hello, Kevinson. Rocky, hope you feel extra right again soon, bud. I'll eat extra ice cream for breakfast for you. Wow, good man. Aha, jelly and ice cream. Dead Money All-Stars. Instant legends in the house. Juggermonk, I am a stock noob. How is my GME looking? Technicals. Juggermonk, technicals is looking, well, it's dropping, isn't it? It's like down here at 181.98. Is it going to confirm this? Is a break of it's broken below the 618 and the 382 on this Fibonacci on the right and the Fibonacci on the left. We'd like to see it bounce from here. You would expect it to at least put in some sort of temporary bounce at the very least. It's also intersected through what I would use as a break point on a head and shoulders here, which again would be bad because if this does break, then you're looking back down to 171, that sort of area. That'd be the measured move on that. And then you'd be getting more buys at 382 on the left and 618 on the right. That's where price action will go if this doesn't recover properly. It could slowly go down, or it could go in one big move. If it goes in one big move, it may just stop at 176 at the 0.5 and then come back up. Be about 60% of that move, or more even. Got the 200 period moving average on the 15 minutes also there. And then you'd have tested both of these after the golden cross, and you could hope that at that stage, if it was a 0.5 retrace on both of these fibs, either of them, right, you can see them either side of price action here. If that's how far we go on this retrace of this move, which was perfectly fine, and to stop at the 200 and go on again back upwards to just more or less where we are at the minute, or up to 185. So it dropped down to 176, back to 185. That would constitute some sort of positive test of the 200 after a moving average cross, golden cross, which would be fine. All that would be fine. I'm coming to Scotland to buy you 2 pint after the molas. Nice one, Rob. It's quite a long journey for a pint. But it'll be very refreshing afterwards. And cheers to you already, buddy. Mitch Agat. Get well soon, Rocky. Amber, sounds like a win either way. Load up and hold. Bleed hedges. Amber, you tweeted at Trey Trades and said, do a collab with Jamie Curran, or at least an Amber did. And I appreciate that a lot. That was a good idea. Things like that, very much appreciated. Thanks. And who else is here? I think I've got everybody now. Is that live chat or top chat? Oh, and get live chat on, for goodness sakes. Missing people here. And yo, Matt Donovan. Mr. Donovan, thanks for tuning in. Cheshire Cat, how's it going? Ape Andy's not well. We should send him some love. Is he not well as well? Darn it. Send Ape Andy some love. He's a legend. Love Ape Andy. 180.05. So we've broken that area there. You know, that's the top of the head shoulders. Some people would say it's down here. It has to recover. Like, there's no other touches though on this. This is gone. You know, that's it gone. Brian Alexis, 2 minutes, pledged 25 via Patreon. Thank you, Brian. Welcome. Bama Pajama donated another $50 for TA. 2 questions on GME for 2 random people you have never seen in chat before. You're paying for the TA questions from the people in chat that I haven't seen, that I've missed. You're paying for other people to get TA questions answered. Oh my goodness, Bama Pajama. What are these questions so I can answer them quickly? All right, you're doing it on behalf of 2 people. Bama Majama has donated $50 on behalf of 2 people to ask any question that I've not recognized their name before. So, like, non-members probably, that would be obviously you guys. I could ignore I am not a cat. What's the deal with the second shoulder? Yeah, I can ignore this because I recognize your name, I'm not a cat. And this donation that came in there, and I maybe will actually get around to answering that because it's a good question. But Bama paid for 2. So sorry I'm late. Well, you're not forgiven, Katie. I'll go. I started reading harmonic trading after Jamie mentioned it. Don't think I'm cut out for trading. It's a hard one, isn't it? See, like, this is a lot of what I've been building up to, helping people with the Fibonacci's, right? We study the Fibonacci's, and Rocky's got a very good understanding of Fibonacci. So the next level, if you've reached is up to the top of that heights, is the harmonics. But 2 people, Rocky, we'll get better soon. Prayers, that's nice. Thanks, Rachel. Tracy, Bama Majama, you are a big-hearted big guys, right? I love Trey's energy and his big heart. Plus, my oldest son's name is Trey, and he's in the Marines. So it reminds me of my boy. Ha! That's quite funny. That's loads of coincidences there. Jeepers, creepers, Amber. There's a lot of coincidences. I suppose Trey is a more common name where you are than here. I've never met anyone in real life called Trey, but I have met lots of people from America on via doing the YouTubes called Trey. When I say lots, I mean a couple, few. Love Trey's energy. Yep, he's got a lot of energy. And his oldest son's name. And he's in the Marines. That's 3 big coincidences. Jama Jama, you're a big heart. Yeah, no, we're worth saying that again. Okay, so I'm going to move on to doing the TA, but I would like to answer questions on behalf of Bama Majama. Maybe we'll get to them at the end. And Rocky, who's here and reading the chat, you keep an eye out for 2 questions from people you don't recognize that Bama Majama has donated on behalf of answering. I'm new, says Juggermonk. That's true. Juggermonk is new, and Juggermonk as to how his TA technicals is looking. So you could count that as one of them if you wanted. A wrinkled face and a smooth brain. What's the difference between a wrinkled face and a smooth brain? Aye. Well, if you've got a wrinkled face, yet you've got a smooth brain, then you're getting the worst of both worlds there, aren't you? Okay, you want to look at when it invalidates it? I will do that. That's a good question. Let's look at that, and it's similar. That's Ninja. Ninja! Ninja Horenzo. Where's Ninja in the chat? Is it up above or down below? Charles SEO got off shitty Robinhood and has now transferred his shares to Fidelity. Yes! Congratulations, Charles. Congratulations. Big congratulations from everybody in chat. Okay, sweet. Take advantage of this. It's priceless, honestly. NEGG. Okay, cool. Okay, well, I recognize any TA for NEGG protagonist there. I recognize, but I still will do it regardless. Charles SEO, oh shit, Robin Hood, congratulations. Right, so we'll do that then. The technicals people were looking for, we've got this move down to 17930 on that, on the right head and shoulders. I suppose you'd then be able to draw in, like, where is the actual neckline on this thing after you put one touch in. If it was an upward sloping one like this, say, like, you know, there's the top of it, and you'd be questioning, like, at the time you would have been questioning if this was, like, this shoulder, if this was the neckline, right? You can draw necklines through things. Could potentially also, though, draw it like this, you see. Say, there's a bounce, there's that, the neckline. And the neckline itself doesn't have to be at the same trajectory as the shoulders. Now, you'd say, on either side of this, the things that's put in at the minute, you know, this is the thing with the activation of a head and shoulders, right? In and of themselves, they're really, really shitty. I hate them. I would have the line like this here at the top instead, coming through the top of the left shoulder and going through what might potentially be the bottom of the right shoulder. And I'd say, like, that's what I'd look for in order to play it. It comes through, it comes back, retest it. That's perfectly normal on this, and it could still fall down here and say that it still is likely to go to 177 or 176 or in between after it's broken this line. That's what I would say, right? But there are but people who do head and shoulders, like, you know, you don't have that function about them. So instead you'd be looking and saying, well, perhaps this is the bottom of the right shoulder here. And this is part of the problem with them, is because it touched it. And you could draw a line between these two. But because it's only two, it's like useless, right? It's near all but useless. And you want to see some level of support, and perhaps you could look left and find it, and you might call it this, right? You might call it the top here. Dan, Bama Majama is a legend to support so much. This is for someone else to ask a question. They might be too unsure to super chat themselves. And another one from Dan. You're a legend, Dan. Wow, what an amazing culture this is in this channel. Like, legends. Buffy is. Thanks so much. And Rocky's in chat keeping an eye on things. So he'll be able to say that who those questions can go for, and or get any question from people. Say yo, moon. Say yo, moon. Yo, moon. Let me hear you say moon. Moon. Rock out, fuck you. That's the first time I swore today in my whole waking up lifetime today. Dan Waldo, just super chatted. $20. There it is. Why is it that we've seen a mirror rip it open and then it gets hammered down past couple of mornings? Good question, Brody. That could count. Yeah, let's take that one as one of them as well. If you remember that one for me, Rocky, and then I'll get back to answering this head and shoulders question. So yeah, this is the difficulty of head and shoulders. They only work out 40% of the time. They're the crappiest of the Bulkowski patterns. They're just the easiest to see on a chart. So a lot of people talk about them, especially if you're new, right? No offense. It's just the way it goes. I was like that too. You're new and you see them quite easily, and they've got this really easy to draw the measured move. You know, it's just from the top of the head down to the neckline. That's obviously in around there, regardless of how you draw this line between them. And then wherever the breakdown is, you draw that there. And this one looks horrific, so they get like attention. You know, the 100% on it takes you down to 166. Perfectly possible that move would happen. Much more likely though you get 60% of it from 180 to 166, like 14. So you're looking at about something like that, which would take you down to the 618 here on the right. And that would be like a 60% move off the measured move off this head and shoulders, which should also be confluent with this support. If you look left, we've touched it once here. It was resistance here. It was resistance here, it was resistance here, and it was more or less support here. So like that's a very obvious level where price action could go to from that. It's just from the head and shoulder, like just from that horizontal support and resistance zones. It's also the 618 retrace, and having gone through the 236 on this Fibonacci, let's draw that in. It's supposed to come from, where is this one? Is this from our low to our high? Yes. Let's just delete it and draw it on. Easy to do, right? Easy done. Let's do it. And it comes in here. And it goes up to here. Right, there's your 236. Let's get rid of this line at the minute. Just go back to that shortly. And you can see it doesn't really matter what time frame you're on too much. And obviously it does with regards to the weight you'd put on any pattern, but King Jamie is the only crown, but hey, you get a friend of the court sticker. Dan, we can all be kings just for one day. I guess we're paying for newbies' questions now. Newbies ask questions on this wrinkle-faced smooth brain. There you go, Daniel. Wow, look at this. There's like, we're going to get a backlog of donations now and people coming in and ask questions. That's incredible. Really, that's truly incredible. So prices dropped down, touch this area, right? This is a 15-minute close, and so some people say, is this the thing, right? But where did this break down from? It broke down from up here, and this candle then here potentially, and you're saying, what, this is the right shoulder? No way, right? The right shoulder has to come along some level, and if it's not at this support here, and you're drawing that horizontal there, then why would it be any, like, this is just the same distance the other side of that? You know, why would you say that's not support, right? And there's nothing definitively broken about this, especially because we're sitting on a Fibonacci. So that is what I would draw as your head and shoulders, and this like evaluative nature of the head and shoulders itself kind of takes away a little bit from its value, like its actionable value is reduced. And I'd say that's quite like something you'll come to learn about head and shoulders. Like when you very first begin trading with them, they jump out at you and you think, well, cool, I could use this. And after a while you're like, well, geez, that, when you actually look at, like, as opposed to how easy it is to spot and the potential for how it might work out and how you can incorporate that into your strategy, right? How easy that is and how cool it looks is completely non-correlated to how often it works out. And so it can feel good, it can look cool, but it doesn't necessarily pay the bills. And if you're doing this for a long period of time and you disassociate with what you like and instead like associate with what works, you'll be surprised about how things that look like different aren't as obvious necessarily, and probably the psychology behind them makes sound slightly more contrived. The truth is that they actually have a better success rate than head and shoulders. So what you want to bear all of that in mind as you're learning about them, but still, you know, take them aboard. And like on the right hand side of a shoulder, head and shoulders, you can often draw other things in there and say, like, this might constitute some sort of pattern, right? You need 3 touches on it there. You've obviously got 1, 2, 3 at the top, but where do you draw it in at the bottom? And there is something here, right? It's like 1, 2, 3 there, perhaps, in which case you'd say, like, has that already broken? But this is a bullish wedge, right? This is why these so often don't work out. Or is it alternatively, like, you could draw it maybe something more like this, right? You get like 1, 2, 3, in which case it's a channel and the chances are it breaks up, and you could also adjust that to be like the body touches and see that's now more accurate. And you say, like, either it's a wedge that's already broken to the unexpected, less likely side, or it's a channel which has just touched the bottom of it, which would then make sense for this to be the right shoulder level, the neckline on the right shoulder. And so this would be where you draw in the failure point of head and shoulder, and it looks as though prices are flirting with that idea at the minute. It's also a good buy for plenty of reasons, because, like I say, there's a 60% chance it'll fail. And so the measured move on this thing is just like right back up to the head of it again. And so that's what you're looking for. If it does break out of here, you want to know if there'll be where the failure point is. So the failure point would be at the top of the right shoulder. That obviously comes in as a horizontal here, whereas the failure point or the initiation point would be on the break downwards of the right shoulder, which, as we've determined from that brief analysis we did of the right side of it and where the left side of it is, and the looking left at horizontal support and resistance and building in the Fibonacci zones, you can see that that's most likely the failure point of that, where the initiation point is around here at $180. So we'll see how that transpires. You get 15-minute closes below there. I'd say that this is already showing you on a 15-minute chart that it's real, so that would probably be enough, but that's just like experience. The truth is, you're looking at the early chart thinking there's where you really want to see it. Also, the whole thing fits in there without even really needing to look at the wicks. You can see it's very clean. It works in terms of support and resistance, it works in terms of body closes, and obviously the fibs don't change. So you're really looking for an early opening close, of which you've got 1 hour 56 minutes to see if it can maintain above there, and you don't really have the start of an open, so that's like another hour you'll be safe for. And at that point you might think it'll bounce back down to the 15 minutes. You can see that that's already started, you know, like there's that touch, that's fine. It's about what level does it recover. On the left, obviously, we talked about this. Is the okay, crossing this on the screen? 618 Fibonacci retrace this white line to recover above. That's important. What? Bama Majama. For more TA questions on stocks. Bama Majama, you're going to have to stop doing that. $40 from Bama Majama. That is amazing. Thank you, Bama Majama. That adds up to 290 already. You have to stop doing that. That's loads of questions for loads of people. I have to get through questions quicker at this rate. Stephen Kilbert donated $20. Didn't say anything, but I imagine you could chuck that onto the list as well, right? So that is the answer to how you trade a head and shoulders, right? Opening closes and above it's another one, right? So that's a good answer for one of the questions. And then that's the next question. Well, I'll answer another question that people ask. No, I'm not doing NEGG until I've finished the GME questions, and there must be plenty, right? I'm doing my job, and Prima Majama and everybody else is doing their job, and you've got sepsis, so I can't expect you to do any jobs. Like, ask me questions. I'll donate for somebody else if they have a question. See, Stephen Kilber, you've already just donated once there, Stephen. Thanks, everybody. Right, I'm going to have to get... Is there anything I'm missing? No, there's just donations for people to get things. They're awesome, right? Yeah, cool. I've not missed anything. Awesome. See that? Okay, awesome. Awesome. 180.70. It's likely you get a tiny bounce here. It's a question whether you break the top of this channel beforehand. Then you're talking about breaking. After that, you're talking about breaking through this right-hand shoulder. And that 236 coming in at the same area would not allow you to say that price action might go up above there. Now, this isn't answering that question before. This is starting the TA for GME for today, right? In 15 minutes, I've covered everything that you possibly want to look at in 15 minutes there. On the 1 hour, and we touched on this briefly, you can see this retrace would be normal from this sort of a strength of move. You'd expect something to come in there as natural, accumulate around the center line here. That would be positive on the RSI. They've had bullish divergence at the previous low. We had nothing wrong with the top of it. You can see that you've got building positive momentum, pardon me, on the MACD on the 1 hour. And drop down on the 30 minutes and see that, because everybody uses the MACD wrong. You can see that's hugely bullishly divergent if we go the right way. Otherwise, it's not. Let me just quickly turn on. Sorry, let me just quickly turn on the MACD line, signal line here. Hello, please. Thanks. Ah, there it is. Right, on 30 minutes, coming down. You're not getting a buy signal or anything like that yet. You are above the 200. You want that to bounce. You want the MACD and signal line to start crossing. Let's see what they're like actually here. Quite far away still. So it may well be that this head and shoulders or this on the smaller term time frames, that's increasing negative to momentum. It's decreasing the positive momentum. Let's see how that continues. We want to see this to change around so that I suspect that the price action will dip a little bit here. Either here or it recovers and then dips. And I'd like to see it so that when this comes back above the histogram on the top side, that we break this trend line and then momentum. Would really like to see that, because if it doesn't, then you're going to start drawing lines like this and looking at like the continued downward side things. I do that because you can't really draw anything other than this on the bottom side at the minute. So like the MACD is not giving any. This is not a sell signal at all. It's setting up for a buy signal. It's just a question of where does the momentum break, and that one isn't really relevant at the minute. I expect that either that one holds, or it's this what we're looking at, and we want to see momentum on the positive on the top side of that. And I suspect both of them will be relevant, right? Because this one is also interesting. Talking about where the histogram needs to go in the MACD in order to give you a proper buy signal, and the likelihood of seeing a bounce at this area. And talking about the MACD, right? That's what it does. Doing good TA for people. I mean, it might seem obnoxiously complex, but like that's not by accident, right? This is hard. You're supposed to learn, right? So and people are paying big money like for donations, so I'm giving the proper answers, right? There's a 200 period moving average above us on that 30 minute and the 15 minute, and the 50 period below us. It's totally natural you'd bounce between those two things, having crossed one, test the second one, back down, test the first one again, bounce up again, put in a higher low at the same time. That'd be fantastic. Comes in line with this possible bullish, confirmed now, bullish divergence on the bottom. That's great. And the reason that's all totally natural is because we've had a golden cross on in the 15 minute, between the 50 and the 200 period moving average. You've still got consternation at this time frame on that Fibonacci. You need to see something positive there. And the question was, you told me to do the TA on GME so that we could move on. Oh, cool. Yeah, the answer to my questions might have been pretty shitty in the morning times. Well, the question wasn't that. It was why did they go up in the morning times and then immediately get faded? That was the question, right? The question is partly related to the options chain, how it's terrible news for the people on the other side of the trade if this week finishes above $200. They don't want any part of any day this week being above $200, even for a second. They don't want it. On top of that, there's so many initiations from all these different moves that are going to happen. Like this is an inverted head and shoulders that's played out right to the top of its move, and that's very, very bullish. Not just for in and of that snapshot of a moment, but over the period of like the trade is likely to oscillate upwards. Higher highs and higher lows after you start putting in bullish formations. One of the things that could happen is this could put in a bump and run pattern on this 4 hour time frame, right? Now this is coming in, it's turning around from this downtrend. What you need to see is prices break above this line again, which should also be, a failure of this head and shoulders on the smaller time frames would initiate prices move back to this area up at around 200. That'd be a disaster for these people. If we can get on the 4 hour and get an open and close above the 50 period moving average, that'd be a disaster, right? So when prices open in the morning, they fade them straight away. If they could, they'd fade them pre-market. They were doing that last week, right? They were doing that last week. It didn't work enough. Now they do it 15 minutes into the opening hour. They'll do it. Friday, you can expect the first hour of Friday to be a bloodbath if there isn't anybody buying it. And so we on our side of the trade, we want to see prices at 200. And so that's why you get people buying it, you get people selling it, and in those times of the day, people have got an agenda, and it affects people's psychology for the remaining hours. And traders, day traders, take their cue from these things. So that's the answer. Don't try and help me on the middle of answers. Like if I don't finish, it's because I'm not satisfied. Right. Yeah. So the data being that, like, are they still making synthetics based on the data? Yes. And the answer is clearly yes. So what? I mean, you want to come and answer the questions, right? So the synthetic shorts, are they being made based on the data? I mean, I know everyone else here listens to that and understands it, but it's Jamie Curran's answering the question. So the first thing I'm going to say is they don't make synthetic shorts out of data. They make them out of fresh air. The data, does it show that they're making them? Yeah, the data shows that they're making them because the volume the data I have is people in chat. One of them just put a message in there in the last few messages. People have said hello and good morning and that, and other people have said messages in chat who I will sometime in future, if their permission, show you what they've sent me and the volume that they themselves have put through the book somewhere is more than what you get in here, more than you're being printed from the NICE, more than we're being told on these charts, right? So yeah, there's not only is there synthetic short still being made, but the volume is still being suppressed. Bing bong, the price is still totally wrong. And those synthetic shorts will get covered, right? They have not been covered yet. Anybody who talks about that and says that is misunderstanding things. Z Lauder just responded on our Tradespotting about the new platform, asking you to reach out. He'd love to discuss it with you. I'd love to discuss it with him too. That's what a legend that he is reaching out like that. It's a testament to how much of a good character he is and that, and he does all this stuff for free, really. So, like, I have got a lot of respect for him. I hope that came across as a message that I was speaking earlier. That's a big deal. It's a huge deal if you're talking about wrinkle brains, he's the one you want to be talking about. And so I'd love to talk about his platform on there. And I said on a different live stream, you won't have noticed it was on my channel at the time, I pointed out that Bloomberg is an absolute overpriced ripoff in that, and although they do have lots of satellites flying around in the air, it's far too expensive, and it deliberately prices retail traders out of the information, right? It deliberately does that, and so there is a huge hole in the market, I think, for someone like Dave. I mean, I don't know what his friends call him. I'm not one of them yet, but Mr. Lore would be the perfect person to fill. So that's a brief touch on that, Ari Woodman. I'll definitely get back to him. That's great, And if anyone's there at the minute and can respond and say I'm on here and I said this about him and I think he's awesome, and I'll get through to it properly too. Thanks, and thanks for all the new kicking ass. Keep going, Jamie and Rocker legends. Thanks, guys. It's both of us. It's both of us. We're together. You're keeping me going faster. Someone said they loved the pace of it, and you're helping with that. Right. What's next, guys? Come on, let's slap on some more things. Thanks, D. Law. Thanks, Ari Woodman, for passing that on. Amazing. Wow, Ronaldo Moreno and Brady Pearl are neighbours. That's amazing. Wow, I cannot wait to hear what you guys come up with together. That's freaking amazing. What's all the questions I need to ask? Nah, you fuck me. Just wondered it all. What are we asking? Let's come on. Go some more questions. I have a question, but I have all the answers. The price is wrong until we reach that. Go fuck yourself. So I buy every chance I get till then. Nice one, Daniel. That's pretty much good synopsis of things. Kevin H with the banana. Huh? What's Daniel just said? Whomever that person is, I make a great son if you want to be my father. Not toilet trained yet, but you can afford to nanny to train me, I am sure. Let's get the adoption rolling. Oh, right. Who is that? Who's going to be your new dad, Daniel? Whoever that person is, which person is this? I'd love to see a conversation between D-Law and Tradespotting. So would I. I'd love to see that too. It'd be a very good one. And he's got a nice big smile on him. I've noticed that every time that he gets asked a question, he's got this really, by somebody who perhaps hasn't framed it in exactly the right way or has made it difficult for him to answer a really good question and perhaps asking it in the wrong way. And he always responds initially with this huge smile. And I recognise that and think, nice guy. I'd love to have a conversation with him. Good morning. I'm glad you're feeling better, Rocky Outcrop. Not to say that I'll be asking him any good questions. I'd probably make him smile a lot with my ignorant approach to things. Who knows? Let's see. I mean, actually, it might be great. It might be a great video for people to see. Both of you together reminds me of the Beastie Boys of trading. Ha ha ha. Yep. Let me know, Brady and Ray. That's crazy. I'm a wee bit jealous, I'll be honest. Yeah. Very bound musician would be, lol, oh my god, not let me know. Right, people don't understand me at the best of times. People say, like, what language is he speaking in between English there? And stuff like that. So, probably smaking quickly ain't helping. The dude with all the shares you talked about. Oh, right, okay, Daniel, yeah. Yes, well, okay. At some stage, it's more than one dude. Well, I mean, there's a core group of dudes, and then there's more than one dude. And one of them's like a wife and husband and that, and there's loads and 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 loads of shares. Holy shit, yeah, I would love to hear Dave and James speak. Rocky, well, obviously, I love Dave's smile. Yeah, exactly, it's that big smile. I imagine most people who see it recognize it. Yes, so that's lots of things. People need to ask me some questions, so I feel like I can start hammering things out, or I'm going to go down and look at other things. What it's like? I mean, people like AMC here. I know you do, right? This is a big deal. Do you want to look at AMC? Shall I do something like I just did on say AMC? Run through it really quickly and that, and maybe that'll constitute some help to somebody somewhere that hasn't asked something. Where's AMC on this freaking list? Oh my goodness, I'm going to go mad. Oh, I can't stop talking and I'll never start again. I keep talking. I have to keep talking. Where is AMC though? For real though, where is it? I'm actually going to have to type it in. That'd be silly. It's in stonks. How do meme stocks? Well, yeah, TA. So TA on meme stocks and that. That's a good point, actually, because it kind of sort of briefly touches into the D-Lawyer stuff. D-Lawyer was talking earlier with somebody else who had initiated this conversation about does TA work, and he was saying, well, I don't know if it works on meme stocks because they're highly manipulated. And I suppose he was having the conversation, which from an initial perspective makes perfect sense. And you're like, well, it's manipulated, so then it's not going to work as well. And that understanding is what some people with, and then other people said, oh, well, actually look at Tradespotting because he manages to call the prices correctly. And so that's some validation of the technical analysis in their minds, and true, it is, right? That's the way it works, because that's one of the things that you might want to do for any propositions, you guys. That tickles me if I'm reading correctly what you're saying there. Tradespotting, do you like flumes, as in like fluming culture from the 90s? Yeah, I love it, mate. Barry, 5 friends. Yeah, I used to think that when I grow up, I'll get really rich and I'll go on flume holidays and I'll just travel around all the flumes in the world. I thought that would be what I'd do. Yeah, I love flumes. What kind of volume would we need to gain to really know to be excited? Right, well, if you see any significant volume coming through here, it means that they just cannot hold it down on their side, right? It means they cannot hide it in those unlit markets. If you see the volume starts to spike here, that'll be representative of the fact that they're running out of room on the other side of things. And what sort of volume? Well, the way we do volume here is a combination of looking at the VPVR, which talks to you about volume profile visible range, and says in and around these areas, seeing volume is significant, right? And that's on your y-axis. It's over here on the right-hand side. A lot of it's covered up by these different indicator labels, but you can still see where the point of control will be in line of control, which is really the biggest, the sticky outest one on your visible range on this particular way I'm looking at, right? If I change the chart, you'll see it moves, right? Here's different price action. Line of control changes to down here. And so all of this is relevant, right? And I'm not saying that I'm looking at this because that part of it's relevant right now, but it is. Oops, wrong button. It is, but not in like specifically any compared to anything else, more or less. And what was the point I was on here asking about volume? Yeah, and then down in the bottom here, the way that I look at volume, and Rocky's got this is the same on his chart, is that neither the volume candles themselves are not red/green, right? Because for every buy there's a sell, and just because the candle closed lower doesn't mean there was more sells than buys. It just means the timing of those and this books at the time meant that the natural consequences of those timings meant that that candle was lower, even if there was more purchase in volume. And so to have that corresponding candle below red on the bottom of the chart there, where the volume is, as you can see just underneath the cursor here, it doesn't actually make sense, right? That's like, you might think it was, but it's counterintuitive. That's not the way these candles work. This is just total transactions. And so to have that a neutral color between them makes sense to me. And then when you do get to that level of volume, you're thinking about, well, what use is volume? And from a TA point of view, volume, volatility, trend, and momentum are all important, but when it comes to volume, it's more or less about a confirmation of all of what everything else is telling you. And so the best thing you can do with it then, when you're looking at it in isolation, is think, is it starting volume or stopping volume? This is something Rocky talks about a lot, and it's something Peter Brandt talks about a lot, and he's a famous technical, classical chartist that does TA. And so that's enough of that, right? Is it starting volume? Is it stopping volume? And it's not a question of how much volume we need to see. We just need to see relatively high volume. And the way this indicator works that Rocky's got here is you can turn on this moving average and you can say a break in that's important. You can say doing that on a daily time frame is something we've not managed to do often. When we have done it, said prices have gone up significantly. And this is what we're looking for. When volume is so strong that it can't be maintained and suppressed in dark markets, it seeps into here where we can see it. And then we need more of that, and we need it consistently, and we need to see each day bigger than the last to know that things have finally changed. What's the next one, Rocky? Okay, AMC. We'll start on AMC. Okay, do it as quick as possible. I just added AMC, and it's not on the chart there. So AMC, but where is it? In stonks? Stonks. Not there. Added stuff. GME's here, but there's no AMC on that. So AMC. Add it. Bing bong. Any thoughts on usual way selling strategy based on buy pressure goes against the sell on the way down here due to DTC shutting off? I haven't seen that yet, but I will happily talk about it in a second, whatever it might be. You'll have to explain it slightly better to me. We're down 5.64% since open. Prices at 38.47, 38.46, 38.47 seems to be oscillating at the minute. Maybe they're drop down to smaller time frame and see what's going on here. Tracing the bottom Donchian channel, but not opening and closing outside of it. That's okay. Coming in for this 200 period moving average test, doing the same thing as GME. The golden cross has happened. The test of the 50 period moving average was not sufficient on the 15 minutes. It's coming down to test of 200. That would be expected because it's in line with this horizontal area of support at around 100, around where we are at the minute. But you know, actually the body closes are down at 38.22 and the candle closes are down at 37.91. So this would be normal a bit further because the 200 period moving average is there. Cool. Touch that, and I'd like to see a bounce. It's tracing the Donchian channel on the way down rather than collapsing. I suppose you'd think that that's really like not the worst case scenario, and so you would think perhaps a bounce at this area would be reasonable. You'd be reasonable. Would be you could anticipate that there may be a bounce here. You'd look to that area and you'd say, well, how far is it likely to get? If this is your well, that definitely wasn't the top. If this does come in to be the low, and like this is obviously drawn TA, like doing it in advance and that, and this is a little bit crazy. There's your center, there's your 0, there's your 1. Fibonacci be looking for a retrace above the 236, comes in at around 39.63. Any sort of a turnaround from here, you'd be looking for it to be higher again, and at our previous level around $40, which we recovered once, didn't manage to open and close above. Let's check 4-hour time frame. Yeah, we did manage to get something, but it was a doji. It was at the top of this move. It was having closed the gap, and it was likely to go down again. There's that sun, the 4 hour touching there. So as you can see on the 4 hour, this doesn't look bad, right? It doesn't look bad because you've got a W bottom. You've got it coming down, testing this breakout zone here. You could even drop a line on and say, you would normally expect a 618 retrace on this stuff, right? As we were saying yesterday, you expect it to come up and touch the 886. It did that. And you expect it to retrace to at least the 618, maybe the 236. It's gone beyond all of those and come down to the breakout zone, right, which is perfectly acceptable in the 4 hour candle. These are where the traders bought the prices to a close, right? At the body closes here at the peak, and then here at the breakout zone. We're just below that, so you would like to see that recovery up at 3860, and that would be your TA for GME on this bigger and shorter time frames, right? A little bit of a bounce expected. We need to see it get above 3960. That's AMC. Let's look at Apple. Apple. Got it. I have to type it actually in like a silly Billy. Apple up 1.6% today. Hello, Apple. Open up. Actually, 147.74. It's done well, right? That's done well. 15 minutes, good. That's opened with a gap. The gap is below the 200 and a 50-period moving average. We've had a death cross on the 15 minutes. Prices have been going up during that. Right, so prices were going up during the death cross. We had a big drop down. I see, right? That gap was closed. This gap now persists below us, and we've opened up a second one today. So there's two gaps below in the 15-minute time frame. On a 2 hour, not on the daily. So we've managed to close them. Okay, 4 hour. Suppose you'd say they're closed. Nope, that's 1, 2. Are they likely to be a problem on the 4 hour? No, I don't actually imagine that that's enough of a problem if they only persist up to the 4 hour. You've got to break this horizontal support here on the left. As you can see, you've got a touch of bearish divergence at the top. You've got it again coming in now. You've potentially got a third touch of it at this shoulder. I don't expect Apple to keep going based on that alone. You can see here it came back this low, bullishly divergent. Your RSI was lower and your body candle closed higher. It was a higher low. So you're going to see prices test up again. But on this test, it's a test of a bearish divergence failure. Approaching it up again, it's going to have what like some people would call a swing failure if it doesn't manage to get higher again now. RSI might collapse. You've got the 50-period moving average below you at 140. I'd say 140 is nearly a stick-on for a test of that level, right? 140.70, maybe 140 is more likely. In there, you're going to have to start asking questions again because this is a hugely bearish divergent top. And if you go back between tops, it's like it's a pattern of that. And you've come back, you've gone into the oversold, you've managed to put in an awful lot of bullishness to even like recover that zone. Otherwise, it could have collapsed. That was a good move out of it. And that was a positive cross on these, and these time frames are important. You've got a 4 hour golden cross, which hasn't yet completely tested the 50-period moving average. So I'd expect at least something like that to be coming in, especially after this move and the divergence on top. So Apple's going to come back to 140 at some point, I suspect. If it doesn't, it goes up. It's only got another couple of bucks on the top, and if it goes on beyond that, sure it could blow off all that bearishness and come up, and then you'd be looking at this top and saying, is that going to be bearishly divergent? It may take that. It may take a move up to 1.5 something. Let's see what that would be actually, to see where you might get that in and around. Might go up to 152. It might go up to 155 if this bearishness is blown off by a strong trending move and that continues. But you've had a golden cross in the 4 hour. You've got a death cross on the 15 minutes. It's likely at least come into the 140 levels and drop back down to the 15 minutes. Check that again. Death cross coming back. Is it going to uncross? Not without a test. That comes at 146. Perhaps drops down to 145. You've got Fibonacci's in around there as well at 144. It may not be so bad, because this looks good. This looks positive on the shorter term time frames. But you have got a degree of negative divergence coming in on the momentum indicator of the MACD. This potentially is also happening again also here. It may well be that this is your local top for now, and it has come up and it touched that 786. So I'd see like a retest 146, then we'll check it. If it drops down any lower, 144, and below that, it's quite obvious that a 141, 140 sort of area, you're looking at these sort of things. 141.69 is where it's bounced previously, so that would be your test. And you've got a number of things in the 15 minutes. On the 4 hour, it looks slightly further down at 140, so it could wick, come back, and then we'd look at the divergences and see how it might, if it had any strength. What's the next? Yeah, sorry, I spent too long on that one. Fortnite. But it's not Fortnite, that's something else, but this is whatever this is. Electronic technologies, computer communications. Fortnite, is it actually Fortnite? Is that the ticker for the... wow, right, this is not going to see much in Fortnite. Right, let's go back up. Let's go back up. Jeepers McBobs. Make the Apple thing a clip. Who said that? Oh, cool. Maybe do that with that. We could do that. I'll leave that to discuss enough clips later. But yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Or if somebody else wants to make a clip, even better. Right, 4 hours. Trend lines. Amazing. This thing's so amazing. This is a really good chart. It's an incredibly good chart. Yes, 4 hours. Incredible. In the daily time frame, what does it look like? This is an incredibly good chart. Good chart going back to 2016. This is incredible. It's only had one lower low on this move. And that has been bullishly divergent. I suppose you could call it here too. It was also bullishly divergent at the bottom of that one. This is such a strong trending move. This chart is incredible. And yeah, you're looking at this since when? Like literally, when has this been on it? This has been on an uptrend since, and we're going to have to go up to a weekly time frame. This has been on an uptrend since forever. 736 up to 250 bucks. 269.50. That's no rounding it up at 269.50. Just stick there. Across these things, it's had this. What? Yep. People are looking at a very small screen, but I'm just getting a general trend. That's fine. Stop micromanaging me, right? I know you're saying you're not, but you know exactly. Yeah, you know I will. So like, right. So this is an uptrend. It's been in it forever. It's only ever had a touch of maybe. That doesn't count, that one. This one here is the only lower low it's had where it's put in, and it's put in bullishly divergent. These ones are higher lows with their own type of bullish divergent. These were been uptrends. It's a very positive chart. Even on a weekly time frame, you can see that everything looks natural and strong. You can see on your oscillators here, perhaps there's a touch of bearishness coming into that move. This is a bit of a like, maybe this is like constitutes some sort of blow off part of the trend. I don't see why it would necessarily go parabolic all of a sudden here. Don't see anything on the weekly to suggest that. It's at the highs of its historical highs on the RSI, and when it's got here before, it was this top. When it got here previous to that, it was this top. That trend didn't go back much. The retrace on it was a good 38.5% though. That's significant. Right, so you do want to be wary of these tops, right? There's one, it was a top. There's two, it was a top. 3, it was a top. 4, it was a top, right? That was a bearishly divergent one. It's quite obvious. This one, you haven't yet put in any divergence yet on the weekly time frame. You don't necessarily need to do that on the 2-day. What does it look like now that we've got those things in mind? Because it could be important. You could see, yes, there's a touch of that there. Higher highs on price action, still lower lows on the RSI. That goes back throughout this upward trend here. You can see that there was a touch of bullishness on the bottom, but that isn't enough to push you up to all-time highs in and of itself. And now that you've come up here and putting in, like you're about to put in bearish divergence, any sort of a retrace here would be that. It's very difficult to know where you take a trend and a Fibonacci from here. You can see that that's at least one of them that's reasonably obvious, and I say reasonable in the lightest possible sense. 236 retrace on that comes also in at the 50 period moving average at 218 bucks. That's somewhere I'd look to price action going in the short to medium term. You can see that volume hasn't suggested since this high, which was also since our divergence started, it has only dropped. This is not confirming this up move, nor is this RSI with a divergence, nor is what seems to be like a weakening in the momentum. So I could see that this is either a blow off top that goes a little bit further, and if it does, that little bit further would be So as the gain is like so very, I mean, what would you say? Something like that. So 1618, you're already up around that area. And it could go to 273, right? That thereabouts, it could easily do that sort of thing. Or is that just the top of this thing? It is. It's not it at all. No, that's that previous one. It's 1618 on this VIP. This is from the top down, right? Get out of the way for now, mate. That was from here down. It's already above where you'd expect to see it there. This could easily be a blow off top with a divergence on it. I'm not trusting this. I certainly wouldn't jump in it right now, despite the fact it's an excellent chart and it's going to probably keep being excellent for an awful long time, because at the minute it's been excellent forever. This thing is excellent. Right, what else do we want to look at? Hi chat, let's catch up with chat for a second. He's concentrating. We're about to go into mumble hole. It's like K-hole, but financially more positive. Certainly is. It's very similar. You won't remember, just like I won't. You won't remember what happened during it, but afterwards you'll be like, maybe they should use that for some sort of therapeutic medicine. My favourite movie, Braveheart, William Wallace. Freedom! Citadel will not defeat us without a good fight. Yeah, do we believe, so the essential part of the question is, do we believe we can change the market? Do we believe we can change it fundamentally and forever? Yeah, I believe we can do that, I'll go. I think that one aspect of it is the MOAS, and that it'll do, like, seriously puncture the ego of those people on the other side. I think that it will make a difference because it'll do damage and people will have to take notice. If we can act in such a way that's not in concert, not orchestrated, not of a movement in terms of all doing these things and like behind the scenes telling each other what to do, if instead we can all just identify independently and together who the enemies are and focus our weight in that direction, we've got one trapped who can't escape, and that'll send a message. When it's finally done, that'll send a really strong message, and not just to that person, but to everybody else who'll see that there are a number of motivations that these people have that will not yet be satisfied by the destruction of Citadel, that we ourselves can't be defeated just the same way that anyone who fights in that guerrilla style can't be. You know, they call us apes, and it's suitable because they can't fight back against us, really. You know, as soon as they do, we disappear into the shadows. So as people talk about this particular GME, it's we are being trained right now. We are being trained. And that training, we're going to put it to use. We're not going to somehow equip ourselves with these capabilities, empower ourselves with this chance, and then afterwards discard those skills and tools. No, we're going to put them to good use, and I'll certainly be here directing like some of where the shit should get thrown. And that, huh? Simon, can GME squeeze be held off until Q3, or does the TA suggest it'll happen sooner? Could the October effect on the markets be a catalyst? The October effect on the markets. The October effect, I suspect, Simon, what you're talking about, the October effect, Q4, traders going home, money being withdrawn from markets, big investment banks scaling down their accounts. Perhaps that's what you're talking about. And at that point, you're talking about the negative delta and how GME might go up. What? Yeah, and so I've got no idea what how that relates to what I was saying. So I'll start again. Can I just squeeze real into Q3? Does it TSS could the October effect? The October effect that I think Simon's talking about is how investments scaled back, like Q4 for winter and pick up again in springtime. You know, like people who do fund managers don't really like working very much from October to February all that much, right? They don't. And it's quite easy to just take your money off at that point. And also, there's not all that much happening, so people do that and people go home for the holidays. But I like Rocky put in a really good point there and talked about Christmas. And Christmas is a huge period for companies like GameStop. It's also the sort of thing when some presents aren't appropriate when there might be another wave of pandemic. GameStop is repositioned so that so many more of its sales now are online, and so many of its products are what people are going to want at Christmas, and the brand engagement It's going to pay off so big come next Christmas for GME. You know, like the new console cycle is something, but the amount of money that goes through the books at Christmas is crucial to companies like GME. It'll be massive. And I'd like to see how that goes in the January sales. And then the earnings coming out at that point, things could really pick up. And so do I think it's a trigger for the MOAS? This is a really difficult question, right? I think that there's various triggers for price action. The TA suggests what that'll be. The TA doesn't necessarily say this is when or this will need to happen in order to trigger MOAS, but it does say that there's a series of cascade in price action, cascades that could happen in price action based on the TA. One of them's a weekly close above 343. That would be really positive. Pushing the price up to around 550 will be really positive. Breaking all-time highs and being in blue sky breakout would be really positive, especially because of the nature of market participants. And any of those things, any of them or all of them, on top of potential dividend announcements coming out around September, at the end of Q3, the start of Q4, that's when a lot of this is traditionally is when GameStop has issued dividends, also in around my birthday. And like, not to say that that means it's going to happen, it just means that in around that sort of time, I'll be really excited and happy. So it would be great to see those things happening at that stage. So that's sort of question I really like. But you might be talking about a different October effect. I'm not sure. So I hope that's what you're talking about, Simon. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and the October effect is really, if it's the one I'm talking about, it's the same one you're talking about. It's massively overstated. It doesn't necessarily happen that way. It doesn't necessarily happen for these type of companies, and so it may not have any effect at all, or it may not be overhyped and overplayed. It's also like the summer stuff. It's very similar to that. Mind you, there was a pandemic, and that's very difficult for other people to start summer. Did I say Gamestop? Yeah, of course, Gamestop. Gamestop, 11th September. What's the price of Gamestop? Juro, Juro. Jamie Dimon is one of the top tier degenerates. Yeah, he's a scumbag. Allegedly, Jamie Dimon is a scumbag. I think he should change his name to anything but Jamie. I think that's what he should do. I'm not sure if he spells it like that, though. I think it might be spelled different. I don't know. Yeah, he's a scumbag. Like, when he's questions are put to him, like, we made 28 point something billion dollars in profit last year. Do you think it might be good for your company, your brand, your bank, to give back the over 1 point, I think it was $8 billion you charged in overdraft fees in the previous year, when you made $28 billion of profit, so you can easily afford to do this? Would you do that, right? You know, knowing that that would be a direct transfer of a very small amount of money comparatively for this bank to the people in society who need it the most, from the country who provides the foundation for his bank to even exist, for the government who puts so much money through his pockets. He says no. When he was asked, would you be prepared to consider a refund on those overdraft fees? Some of those overdraft fees that he would return would literally save lives. And before the question is even finished being answered, he scoffs no. He scoffs it into his little fat chicken neck. No, because he thinks it's dead funny, the idea that he would help somebody. And these people hate you. They disdain you. They think that you deserve to be poor and that they deserve to be rich, and they deserve to have anything that may have naturally been due to be given to you, or anything that you may have deserved. They think that they deserve it more than you, and they're going to do everything they can to take it off you, and they'll charge you overdraft fees, which are probably exorbitant, unfair, and on the worst part of society in the first place to do that sort of thing. Then they say they're never going to give them back, and that thing, to me, is such a huge scumbag that would do that and be that way. Yeah, I never try to scroll up. It goes, fuck it. Oh, a new egg as well. New egg. How do we do the ticker for new egg? So our GameStop going to buy a new egg. Who knows? $27.50. It's up 1.18. I can see now we're on, what is this, 50-minute time frame, right? Well, right. New egg, new egg. MACD cross at the top of that peak. Nothing divergent about it though. Previous divergence on these peaks, prices came back. That wasn't much of a retrace, so kept by the 50 period moving average on the daily. Despite that, that's good uptrend. That test down here previous to this divergent top second time, I would have expected more of a move off that. It's really strong, and then bullishly divergent here. And that, just that little touch of that bullish divergence, and the fact that it couldn't drop below the 50 period moving average for an extensive period of time, meant that the lower level of support in the Donchian channel and all of the reasons for trading this turned up. And then you moved up, touched the top of that Donchian channel, comes in because of that touch, actually. The candle range, what's the range on that candle? That was 77% increase in one day. And then you had a similar here. This was a 150% rise in one day. Open down. This was as relevant on the daily, but you can see that that's starting to turn around. It's catching it before this. Let's turn on this 9, cool. Right, if you recapture this 9, that'd be really positive, right? If you change that to, I'll leave it at 9. If you can recapture that, it'd be really positive. The fact it hasn't dropped lower than that's interesting. Let's see what that is as a Fibonacci retrace then. This is a big move though. We'd have to take it right from there, I suppose. Retrace 382, and beyond that, that's not positive, right? It needs to open above where it is. It needs to not open, it needs to make it above where it is. Below the 9 period moving average on the daily time frame. This retrace has gone below the 236. It's got no reason in particular to stop where it is at the minute. Over on the left, a body close, open close is already broken below that, and a body close, that's not relevant. It's 0.5 in here at the top of this level before you broke out. That might be your 150% plus another chunk back. I mean, undone, not back. You've got your 50 period moving average here. It just seems so very likely that it'll come in there and touch in around that or the 618 or push through it and do both ultimately, because here's your support on this left hand side. It may be that if you were to draw this on the, let's see, on the 4 hours at head and shoulders, like it potentially is. What's the psychology of it? No, you've got that's positive. No, it isn't on the RSI. Nothing to see on the MACD with regards to that. So I'm in two minds about this. It's not head and shoulders. It's not got a problem with RSI. It has accumulated positively there. There was no bullishness off the back of that. That would have been nice. I'd like to see something put in with a lower low on prices, a higher low on the RSI. I'd like to see it as this continued death of like the weakening momentum on the MACD. All of that come through in the 4 hour, and then I'd like it on the hourly if this already had a positive cross there. This has had loads of bullishness. On the hourly, if it doesn't break any lower, that's positive. It could do something similar to what it did down here with maintaining these levels and the tightening of the Donchian channels. There will be some more increased volatility on this soon. It's either down to that 618, which is a huge 50% off prices, or it's back up again to test the 236, which is a huge 100% on the top of prices. So is this a trading zone? Not until you see some confirmation. I'd like to see bullish divergence. Haven't seen that there, but we did see it here. I'd like one more touch of that at least before this moved. Pardon me. There isn't a short trade on here, even though there is a big move down. If it does go down on the 1 hour, you can see that there is a reason for it to be caught at the 50% retrace with the obviously Dow theory says that's possible in the first place, and you've got this other level of resistance which then turned into a breakout zone, and you've got your 200 period moving average, and they all come in and are exactly the same level. So that's something for a reason, for at very least for it to bounce should it drop to 22, and at that point you might see some divergence. Thanks. Yeah, so I don't think there's a short trade on, but there is if you break previous levels, and that level's in around 25. 25 something. Do I think that's going to happen? It could get caught any level between there and around at 21 and just come pulled straight back up again. Or alternatively, it could end up going beyond there and down to the 16. If I was looking for an entry on this, I'd wait for a drop to either 21 or thereabouts. If it went beyond it, then I'd look for one to 16 point something or thereabouts. At which point it'd be an excellent entry, I think, because it's been on like a storming trend to the top side and hasn't put in any divergence once it got there, despite that being such a massive one. A 50% retrace on this after this move would be akin to what GME did in February. Then you'd expect to see from that level a move, right? Back to the 236 here, back up at $43. That's why I mean, if this does follow what GME did, and there's reasons why it would. That's slightly different on the daily chart, especially. That's slightly different. 382 there. 618, then a 382 might have been more like what GME signal, and then back at the 236. So and that wouldn't be a trade zone either. And you'd be looking for this. The trade on this at the minute is a long. It's on the signature. You would want to look for is bullish divergence on the RSI at least, weakening momentum on the MACD, on the lower time frames like the 4 hour, as you can see, if that continues, and the 1 hour if that continues to be positive, and you don't get a negative cross there, that'd be good. If all of that comes in when the prices drop down to around 22 or before, great. On 30 minutes, you got given below the 200 period. Wow. Oh, these are from KT. Oh my goodness, it got delivered again. Wow. Yes. Kind coffee. So the customs opened it all up because they were worried it would be something illegal. It opened it all and then reclosed it again. It's like as if it doesn't. This stuff like is so pungent that it is so obvious what it is. What did they think? Hey, honestly, people that work there aren't very smart. Mind you, who would want that kind of job? I don't know who would want that kind of job. And then all these things with it. Coffee, the Kind Coffee Company, with some of the coolest business cards you're likely to see. Custom roasting the best coffees on planet Earth, 715 West Fayette, Syracuse, New York. www.facebook.com/10688762006. So, oh my goodness, that's not even it, and it's so long. Maybe, I don't know, customs people need to sort themselves out. Why are they opening your stuff? They also did it to all my t-shirts that arrived eventually. It was like, what are you doing? Get your hands off my stuff. Wow, awesome, KT. Thank you so much. And I've got some, actually. You want to make some coffee? Oh, you'd have to stand up and do it. Oh, who can be bothered? I've got it all. You just need to put it in the microwave. Brought it in the flask. And yeah. You've got coffee, you're sorted, and I've got a juice. It's okay, no, I'll get it myself in a minute. I need some of that stuff. Yeah, it's amazing by Mama Jama. It's the Kindness Coffee Company, and it's in 715 West Fayette, or you can go on, email the guy at coffee3@me.com. Coffee3@me.com. That's well easy to remember. Coffee3@me.com. Some of us have stuff other smelly things into bags of coffee beans to mail them. Oh, is that what? So does that actually hide the smell? I suppose they would do it like that then, and then they check. Routinely hidden in coffee. Are they routinely hidden there? See, I don't know this stuff. I work in a different industry. I know someone else there is pungent smells to hide stuff. Hi, everybody knows this thing. Everybody Lamios. Suppose I'm a boomer. If I don't know what you hide drugs in, then it must be, right? Love traders. Later traders, enjoy the day off to earn a fractional share. Nice one, Hodler for Toddler. Good luck on your work today, mate. And I'll catch up with chat now for 5-10 minutes, and then we'll look at something else if you want to. What time is it now here? How long have we been streaming for and so on? It's 4:15 and we went live. What time? About 3 or something. That's not too bad. Rocky, take it easy and replenish your mana, buddy. We're going to need you. Rocky, yeah, sit there and take it easy, Rocky. I need some as well, lol. Everybody needs this kindness coffee. Yeah, it's amazing. You see, the first time I drank it was literally all... I mean, I'm only talking now fast because of it as well. Like I was saying to Rocky, I brought some up with me. That's near the end of it. What? Pardon? Oh yeah, I'm not being paid to say any of that. No, I'm not at all. No, and KT didn't send it to me in that regard either. He was just being nice, and I'm just saying how great it is, because it is. That's all. Not no ways that I mean not being paid, not being endorsed. It's not an advert, and just in case anyone, just in case anyone gets the wrong idea, it's not like that. It's just nice coffee the guy sent me. It's amazing. Take it easy and replenish your mana. I don't know this stuff. Dan Wilder, I don't know any stuff. I don't know this stuff. Can you share a link, Rocky Outcrop, to the coffee? Is there a link? I don't know if there is a link. It's Facebook group though. That's a Facebook group. I could share that link. I'll take this in. It's just this is like me, right? Somebody said, "All right, I don't want to put up information that would be like too much about the person's privacy either." Oh, about you, Rocky. I've used your Facebook. Yeah, I see what you mean. I don't want to dox Rocky by accident. When open, no text. Right, this guy's very similar to myself. Don't text me. And he's like, this is what somebody said. Some nice guy gives me good feedback all the time, really, called Shill Fudd on Reddit. I was like, why is the audience not? Why is the audience? Because yesterday's stream on Tradespotting channel had less viewers than my first ever live stream, right? And that's like, wow, audience has collapsed over there in so many ways. And so, price action. Let's set this on GME. I don't want to be sat in the wrong one. That's a good point. 176.50. Drop. Oh, look at BB shortly too for Amber. Drop below there. It's down to the 0.5. And I will look at Chainlink and Tezos and Bitcoin and Ethereum if you like. I'll do it 2 minutes worth of it. 17120. It's not about like your personal feelings about those things. Like it's like hundreds of people, if not hundreds, will have subscribed to you because you were so good at Tezos. And even if you want to be nice to them, I guess include a little bit of it in case they find it still. Right. I don't cover it all that often. Got distracted by all the different things that were going through my mind at that moment in time. No, you may. Don't do it. Docs my kind coffee page. You may do it. Docs my kind coffee page. It's like Rocky's Facebook. We don't want to docs, but I can put in the link so that everybody else can find the Facebook page here, which is https facebook.com. Oh, yeah, with the www just for thoroughness sake. Facebook, such a stupid name, isn't it? Facebook. I can never understand why it's such a stupid name. Facebook.com/ Oh, it's because what you call your yearbooks are the Facebooks, is it? Aye. Yeah, that was funny. I did that most likely to fuck shit up. 106 887 887 106 887 626 011857 011857. Sorry about this if you're not interested. If you are interested, this is a link to the best coffee I've ever tasted in my life. Facebook.com/106887626 106887626 601 1857. Okay, that is the link there. Post and pin. Right. Awesome. Thank you very much. Green coffee beans are cheaper if you order personal roaster. You can have fresh roast every day. Green. I love green. Green's the best actually in everything. I'm going to start spray painting these beans green. Maybe low numbers for the live yesterday, but it's got 3.2k views. Yes, it's true. A lot of people came and watched it afterwards. That was true. That's true. A lot of people did. Still, I mean, it was just the tip of the iceberg, right? It's something I've been thinking for like 6 weeks or something. The way it's been going, doing. So I know you do love me. Thanks very much. I love you too. Worthy is life, you legend. But it's like falling off a cliff in that, and it cuts to the point where I worry it gets to the point where it'll suddenly become completely unsustainable. At which point, then it's like, whoa, coulda, shoulda done something sooner, and like the best people to ask about that is yourselves, like what in that, and the best feedback to get is like the most honest feedback that you'd maybe worry would hurt my feelings when you say it. That's the stuff I want to hear. I don't want to take 1.5 years to get around to learning that myself. Like, no thanks. Like, pierce my ego, of course. Say whatever it is I need to hear. Like, I want to change things and improve it. Somebody said it's because you need to stream at the same time every day, but I've been streaming every day at the same time for 3.5 weeks at market close, so it isn't that. It isn't that. So that, and then like ideas are good, right? I use everyone's ideas, but if you think about it, like I've probably had your idea before. So like, what is actually the issue? Because there is one somewhere, and I don't know what it is, and that. And if it's just that something someone's afraid to say to me, then don't worry, say it. Rocket Crop, you shadow ban Jamie. I don't get any notifications for you anymore. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting any notifications. Definitely shadow ban. It's been like that since the beginning. Vast majority of my traffic comes from external sources, not on YouTube itself. Like there was a brief period of a week where it went like up and then it went down again. So I rely on the audience to get anything, and then when I don't, then obviously satisfy them to the degree that they would want to, because like they're in other people's chat, you know, like they're watching other people live and not me and that. And I'm not preaching it to converted here, so like that's why I want positive feedback, not necessarily just critical stuff that knows how to change things. What? Rocket Crip, Jamie, you are streaming twice in one day right now. Give it until you get back to just your own channel. Yeah, good advice, but also it's been going on 6 weeks, case guy. Rocky got hacked by Jamie. I am here and I am never leaving now. I'm joking. Rocky will be back shortly. Rocky got hacked by Jamie. Jamie, don't change a thing. Yo, M James 007, how you going? Okay. Yo, I'm Grace. I know I don't want to change a thing, but also like I'm worried. Like, so we'll see what happens. I can't change. That's true. Me changing isn't the structure of the show or the format or something I'm missing that other people are maybe really doing that I'm not seeing. And like, well, I do take it on board that sometimes it seems overly complex, or that isn't going to change either, right? Like the information is as it is. If I was making it any simpler, it would likely be wrong. Okay, that's the bottom line. It's not me doing this to show off as being kind of intelligent. It's not me trying to make it like complicated where I don't have to. It's like, I mean, I'm giving you it as simple as it comes and is also correct, you know. And like, if you want to make me it any shorter, well, I've only got so many hours in the day. I can't do that. You're being shorted by the SFH psych team. You speak the truth and more importantly, help manage expectations so people don't panic sell. They hate you. We love you. Awesome. Yeah. Well, some of those expectations are like price action at the minute. People were worried, like touch the bottom of this Don Chain channel. That's perfectly acceptable. This is on the 30 minutes. Let's see what it's like on the 4 hour. You've still got like, that's so bullish still on the 4 hours. It doesn't mean anything. It's not even a 50%. The measured move on the 15-minute, the little head and shoulders we're talking about. Yeah, good question. Have we reached it? Well, it depends. Hey, let's do it all over again so that we can see. This was the line. What is the chat with this line? And it depends, of course, where you put in your shoulder and, you know, if you use the wick on the top of it or not. These ones themselves, you're not using it, but here you're going to maybe, it's a pattern, right? And it's just wicked out of it and came back. And so in that sense, you don't need to necessarily use the wicks. I don't think it helps, but on fibs it does, because you're talking about actual reality. Here you're talking about a pattern and psychology, and the wick part of it, especially the divergent wick part of it, you don't need to include, like, you don't need to. You say your neckline's there, in which case we've gone way beyond that measured move, have we? Let's double check. That would be your breakdown point, and so we would have gone beyond it, and that's not it anyway, really. Like, we drew the shoulder in as being, say it's there's the top, right? And some people would just say, like, there's your, that might end up also constituting what is 60%. They draw it in and say, yeah, we've went down, that touched to 200. This is just an open below it. It's not even, it's actually opened above it, and it's not had, certainly not had an open close below it, and it's a 15-minute chart, so I do expect this to bounce, yes. Now, quite likely, yes. And that would say, yes, we've had the measured move if that is your neckline. But we drew it in and we were like more cautious, and we were saying that, well, let's say that these front shoulders are crap and the neckline like might actually be something like that. And that isn't a huge move. If you're looking for 60% off that, which is a move from 180, like there's 195, it's 15, so 16% of 15s. Let's call it $8. So it would be 100 and, what does this start at? 195. It doesn't matter how long it is, it's 8, right? So $8 from wherever it is. You can just draw that in with a horizontal, because that's what's important anyway. If this was your neckline, then $8 from 181 takes you down to 173, 74 sort of thing, which is where your 0.5 retrace comes in. And that would be your measured move, your 60% with a conservative, like as a nod to the bearish side of things so that we don't get excited. Say there's the breakdown point, say it's a 60% move. 0.5 is a normal place for the prices to bounce back above. A 15-minute time frame isn't a significant open close. Say an hourly, then still, you know, that's the 50 period, which is the same as the 200 period on the 15 minutes, because the way moving averages work. a non-close below there would be very positive because we've had a golden cross on the lower time frame, so you want to see this come back up, and that constitutes a good strong test of everything. It's also a 50% retrace on the move. That would be fine for continuation with regards to Dow theory. You still could see further move down to the 618 171. That would still be a much higher low if it comes in at the same time as I don't know if you're going to get like any divergence necessarily at that point. Doesn't seem to be so, and neither did you get anything on the MACD. So it looks as though it would have to just bounce on its own, which you would expect it to do anyway, because this is so good, this high. Neither is it divergent, so it's positive, and I'd expect to see that to be okay. Question of what happens then at the end of the day, because that would be like that either being now or down at 172, 171. Just stick it to the 15 minutes, no point being up there. At the end of the day, if it does bounce here or lower, then ideally you'd see it back above 180. If you don't, that's okay. Let's look at this and say various scenarios. One is, you're already bouncing and this is your low, in which case you want to get prices above 180, as we just said. If it turns out that prices drop down further, and say they come as far as the 618 here at around 17111, at that stage you're going to be looking for a retrace as high only up to 17661, but then you'll be putting in like this down trend with lower highs and lower lows all the way. You really want to at least start testing the top of this channel here, covering what seems to have been broken out of it. Drop that on at the minute just so you can see 180.47 is where you'd like a recovery if this candle does do well, and doing well means like getting back up there, so that you could call this a low of this whole move. In terms of this move here, from here down to here, is this like you even take it from that wick and go down to the bottom of this wick and then say prices only need to stay open and close where they are, like 17711 to be fine, right? And then you could say maybe things are turning around, but that's too small, it's too meaningless. 50 minutes already, it's not much of a move. You're still like talking about, is this the channel, like does this work? You can make it work. You don't want to spend all day moving it around, but these things, the nature of them is that that's how they go, right? And you're outside the bottom of it, but it wasn't a definitive move, so that probably isn't right. It's probably more like something like that. Even then, I don't know, right? I don't know if this thing is a channel or a wedge or anything. It's just the right hand side of the shoulder, and it's played out to 60%. Any further you can go, you can see it going to 1.5. There's reasons for it to bounce all around here, and so these might be the places people enter trades. That's another positive candle. If this one can finish above 178.50, not even all that way, but up around there. 178. If we can finish by 17998, then it's also breaking that fib level. That'd be even better. I don't think so though. I think it's likely you're looking for 178.41 here. If you can do that on the next 15 minutes, which would be good. It's only just started, so I'm not saying it'll happen. You've also put in what seems to be a little bit lower than this channel. That one opened above it again though, so that's positive. Maybe you can't say it's broken. Not very positive yet, but I'd like to see something positive come from it. This is not... No divergence there. Would have liked to have seen a touch of bullish divergence on that, but it is what it is. And then what, like on these smaller time frames, can you see anything? Has there been a pattern here in this downtrend? Bullish divergence at the low, bullish divergence at the low, bullish divergence at the low, fail here, loads of failures. Wasn't good. Only hit the basis line on the Donchian channel 2. Haven't broken the support from before. It's 2 minutes, doesn't mean much, but is what is. Much rougher that channel when you look at it like this. That was a good move there, 178.48, so we're doing that. Good one. Still in this time frame you can see all of the places you need to get above 179 to be the next one to look at, and you've got considerable amount of time left. 2 minutes doesn't mean anything. Open close 5 minutes, like it's equally little. It means it's little, but you've got the 9 period moving average. That's good. You're recovering something. You need to start doing these things. Having gone below that bottom level of the channel, I could say that's a fake out and it coming back. That could be, close enough is near enough. Maybe you call that 50%. Heikin-Ashi candles showing trend going upwards on the 1 minute. Well, they do until they don't. That's the thing with Heikin-Ashis. They'll show you, and then they won't. This is Heikin-Ashis, right? Is it? Did I just change it? Yeah. You need to be breaking these on the Heikin-Ashis. It's more obvious where horizontal support needs to be broken as opposed to candlestick patterns. Obviously, there's a completely different idea. So you're looking for, then again, like 17950 becomes more important, and then you're looking at actually it's like getting above this level of support at 18150, 18180, and also there's a 200 period moving average coming there on the 1 minute time frame. So that's not screaming anything great. You can also say, well, you might have come out of this in its own head and shoulders, which played out at the same time as price action here was just straight down a wedge. That's broken up. 1, 2, 3, test the center line. Again, you can see though, until such times as it recovers to 236 and starts saying it's put in a turnaround, you're going to be trapped by these lower highs. These Fibonacci's, these moving averages, and that is under pressure. It's under pressure. It's annoying. It's annoying to see that. You would like to see some positive bounces in around 50%. We're close enough to see those things come in. You've also got a lot of, let's say, just since prices started moving up, you can see the VPVR that anywhere below 180, there isn't all that much volume at these prices, not that much interest. The next place you see interest on the VPVR is in around where we are at the minute, which is maybe why it slows down, or, you know, I suspect there'll be something in around here. Yeah, they say it's even lower. 169, don't know if it's getting back there, certainly not in a rush. This is overall forming in a bigger head and shoulders, you know, and this is the thing with these head and shoulders, if they do start working out, they start getting bad. Different time frames. There's 2 minutes, you can see, sure, it's not one there. But it is really 5 minutes. Obvious. RSI, oops. Something else I want to look at. Somebody else want me to look at something. What shall I look at? Okay, Jabbies, I'll be back soon. I was aiming for today, couldn't do it. Maybe tomorrow's finger crossed. Okay, cool. Good one, Rocky. Okay, thanks, Kim. That's perfect. What's Kim doing? How you doing, Kim? I think you're at work today and just listen along. Hope you're well. Wolflook Doomslayer, I Gamble 6. How you doing, Wolflook Doomslayer? Stephanie, Heikin-Ashi candle showing trending upwards on 1 minute. Yay. Yeah, we're still on Heikin-Ashi here, and we've gone through the time frames. Well, it's interesting to look at the Heikin-Ashis, and I imagine that you can make it look really bad with Heikin-Ashis too. Look, there's a 4 hour. Bad, good, but no, failed. Didn't even break a previous resistance before it failed. Makes things look awful. This thing makes things look like prices are going down. And then that's not to say it's bad because it does that, so we're not going to use it. Let's look at it. It's a pennant. Yeah, it's a pennant. Prices need to recover, right? They need to recover the 193, right? They could easily do it because we've had that positive cross and we've had all of the tests and we're at the sort of areas where you expect prices to go up typically. It's not much of a drop back in the channel. We got the bottom to the top of the channel. We called that perfectly well. You know, this is normal, like, and I can't expect every day to be going up all day. This is normal, even as low as 171, a bounce there is normal sort of thing to be cautious of when prices go crazy from this. Some sort of higher low is possible and likely before the overall formation is broken. And the overall formation is still that right hand side of this. With handle, it's still not, you know, changed. And if you're looking at the Fibonacci's from the bottom left over to the top here, you can see a little bit of it. Let's take it from the low, most recent one. Drop it right on the right place. Low to the high. 618, we came up, we touched that 618, haven't broken through the 236, that would be normal. Sorry. Haven't dropped down from 236, we went below the 618 and we've come back up and tested that. Got as far down as, well, it's so hard to see. It's 886, I know it is, but it's so hard to see it there. Anyway, because lows down is 886 on this low, Coming back up, test to 50%. It's all perfectly healthy price action. This has got a pennant on it, this thing, even if it is a Heikin, it doesn't matter. And sure, we're in a potentially in on the head and shoulders that we've talked about. But you can also see this is a W bottom, right? This is a V-shaped recovery. This is like everything you'd expect to see. And on the back of this recovery, putting in a higher high than over here, closing up, touching up at the 886 is what you wanted. You're going to see a retracement in and around the 0.5. That's fine. Come back off that. Dow theory suggests that like that would be normal and you would expect that. Then again, it's about breaking these levels of support and resistance. They truly were slightly higher than we brought those bodies to a close last time. So around 194 plus. That'd be good. 197, even better. At that point, you'll have broken the downward slope inside of this channel. You'll have recovered the 250 period on the 4 hour. That's really positive. You could easily do it. This looks like a little bit of a pennant. It could actually get worse and look like something else, but it's okay at the minute. It may indeed be like a channel, in which case, if it breaks anywhere, it's likely up. It may be a wedge. If it is, then it also breaks up. The head and shoulders to the serious trader, you'd be like, I'm not even using that, and it's spun out everything it's likely to tell me anyway. On the previous lows, you had bullish divergence. That's enough to think that the retrace would be an entry. There's been no bearishness on the top. You're reaccumulating above the EMA on this, and then really what you're looking for is what timeline did we draw that on? The MACD must have been on the hourly or something. Oh, must be on the 30 minutes then. Where is it? Yeah, 30 minutes, still the same. Right, so that momentum got worse when we wanted to see it get better. It's also convergent, not a problem. That problem then is an S, and it doesn't threaten downside. Like, that's cool, that's what that is, and let's get up Rocky's DMI on. Let's keep it on 30 minutes and just top that on quickly. So at the top there it is. What? Yeah, I'll wrap up the stream. Don't do what, the link? It's 20 to 5. Oh my goodness, I have been on for a while and we've gone so fast and I didn't realise. So we've done quite a bit, covered a lot of things. Thanks so much everybody for tuning in. I'm going to look at the DMI now though, because I want to see it my own self. You're monotone, I mumble to you. Yeah, and like, yeah, and we both sound exactly the same to most people who hear our voices. Whatever, yeah, whatever. I don't know, like, it's just, yeah, whatever, right? Also, some people say, like, when I ask that question, some people think, oh, right, compared to me. Well, people on the Reddit said that I was, they thought the reason that people didn't tune was because of my accent. It's like, what? Like, that's, like, what? I mean, I said people are obviously trying to work it out. And I'm thinking, but why would that be a reason, eh? Because, because of my accent makes it really hard to understand what I'm saying. Because I just can't believe that that's true. I just can't believe that that's true to a critical mass of people. Yeah. Like, and there are times when I speak into my neck and I've got my thing down and I'm not enunciating properly, and it's true I don't move my top lip enough if I'm not excited. Right, I've noticed that myself. But yeah, it's not necessarily Americans that would be saying it. I reckon it's people English is their second language who've learnt it in one particular dialect, and for them it's maybe out regional. Yes. But then it does represent a lot of the answers I've got. Anyway, whatever, right? So I wanted to look at the DMI. ADX come down, it's putting a higher low, that's positive. DI, it's actually, your DI positive is getting creamed. But the negative trend is increasing as the ADX, as the strength of trend isn't. When the ADX does flip up here, it's when the DI minus turns down. So, like, it's just a petering out of the previous strength in the uptrend as opposed to the downtrend taking over. That's likely to flip around again. Is there a trend line on this, even though it's the 30 minutes? Let's see. Nope. Let's see an hourly. No. Strength of trend weakening, has been weakening since lower high, then a change. Lower high, higher low, change. Yeah, this is crash. Unless you're getting nothing but absolute flux. That's a lower high, that's fine. That's positive, pointing up. We're not getting much from it. Yeah, on the daily, come up. Oh, That's not giving you enough, is it? Not giving you enough information. You can say possibly that like the lows are coming in lower, but then the high is doing the same thing, so you're not getting a trend overall from that. Your volatility's come and gone on that move. ADX did do everything it needed to above the 38, did everything it could do for the positive side of things. Where did that come in at here? That was here in these tops, so that wasn't bad. That was a good top there in terms of no divergence and stuff. Yeah, so 50% would be from there. You'd think that would be as much as it might go, and that gives us another reason why it might bounce from here. So then I'll wrap that up, maybe be on later on. Well, I will be, because I've been every day doing market close from on the Tradespotting channel. See is there, and that'll be the market close. That'll be for Power Hour. During Power Hour, you can find me on the Tradespotting channel doing TA just like this, but mostly on GME. But anything else, if people want to ask, I've done other things. Keep doing other things. Oh yeah, I was going to also quickly look at some things. I'll just do Bitcoin. We can see that on CME's prices came in. They put in was that a divergent low, so prices bounced back up again. 32 to 5. Elon Musk talked about how perhaps Tesla will be likely accepting Bitcoin as payment in future, and that's like, God damn it, man, shut your fish mouth, you stupid starfish mouth. His mouth looks just like a starfish asshole, doesn't it? With Elon Musk. No, it's never taken out a lower high. It's it. So like, I don't think there's much of a recovery, and I think there's bullish divergence on this low. It's like, so what? You had it on all the other ones too, and it still never made a higher high. And then the actual Bitcoin chart, like, you've recovered that line. It's shit. It's not done anything good yet. You've got higher targets above that it may get to and fail. I'm not got any trust in that. Then you're looking at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Flux, Ethereum USD, good move there, right? Still not taking out any. It's not. It's up at 1.7. Has it gone from what? It's gone to 2,000. What? Yeah, that was the move from 1,720 to 2 grand for 2,500. That's the move. That's that trade played out. It's the 618 and then some. We've got up to the 886 probably. And then it's on the left hand side. That'll be like 15. I've not got any other targets on that. In my mind, that's probably petered out too. And then Link and Tezos. You want to see Chainlink above 17? Well, 15.7. That's not it. This is, as you've seen here, it broke through this line, which is obviously represents support at the time. It's come back up, and it's likely to form resistance. Also below the 9-period moving average, it's going to recover that, but not for long. The baseline up there, that's even a lower high, even if it got there up to 17. It's not going to make it. It is at the minute, but it's like not opening and closing there. It's a daily time frame. Drop down to 15 minutes and look at it. See, it's in an uptrend on the 15 minutes. Higher lows, lower highs. It's not works sideways. It says it's not definitively broken what was previously an uptrend, but you're right, it's in flux and it's put in shitloads of bearish divergence at the top, and the bottom ones are crap, right? That's crap amounts. Tezos, you want to see it above 250 or 289? Well, unfortunately, it's not even at 250. 247, spot 60. Pushing up here, it's probably going to put in another divergent top. This is not looking good. This is a really terrible place to enter a trade. High five, good work recently. You're likely to see a retrace on this at least to 2.4 something, probably actually. It probably puts in a lower low at 2.3, and then we'll see what it does. It doesn't look good. Over the piece since it's come up, it looks crap. Right, so that's that. If Bitcoin drops, they're all screwed anyway. Thanks very much for everybody's... Go after the big screen. I put on the... See on what? My beautiful potato head. I have a beautiful potato head. Don't you want to see my potato head? Don't underestimate the ignorance of Americans. I like the Americans. Daniel, you're an American. American. Well, I've got Irish family. I imagine you're all still American. No, whatever you say. Like, that ticker's not working. Let's go back to GME while we do this chat. It's the chat. Right, so I think I've drawn that on AMC 3822. Reasonable bounce there, not bad, good one. We saw that on the bounce on it. We saw it on GME. We didn't get to see that bounce yet. Where is GME? Come back. Make it drop 5%. You're expected to do that after that rise at Rolls Royce. Look at that for a wick on the 15 minutes. That would have significantly broke the head and shoulders that it's putting in. It would have been a recovery of a 50-period moving average. That would have been very, very bullish. But you're asking for that from here. It's like, where are you going there from here? That's unusual. Then the body close being and then a lower high at the minute coming in for that. That's like not fabulous either. But the markets have closed for this. Oh, they're open. Markets are open. What time is it? Oh, they're still open. Not for very long, but they are still open. Those poor people, they've all gone home. I know that they're packing their shit up and they're going home. They're not actually hanging around till markets close to leave and go home. That's not happening. Not in Britain. It's not the way it works. It might be in the pub already. That's about it. So 97.35. That's where this. What are we looking at here? That's Rolls Royce. I don't want to stay on that for too long. Where's GME going with this list? Added too much shit to your list. Sorry, Rich. Where is it? There it is. 179.08. So it's not falling any further. 3.6% too down on the day. 179.06. That's very messy. This is the reason for a pullback this is good, right? Because regardless of what else had happened and what comes next, it was necessary for any uptrend after a golden cross to see some sort of test of one of that moving averages. If it tests 2 and goes on again, that's good. It might not go as high from the move, but there was never a measured move off that. It just says that, yeah, cool, good one. And if like on longer time frames, obviously the 4 hour, you're nowhere near that stuff yet. Still got to get up to 192.79. That's not that far away. I say nowhere near, but it's not really near it until such times as we do some sort of change in this lower time trend. You also got your 200 period moving. That's why I was saying that. You've got your 50 period at 197. These are the two areas: 192 to 194 to 197. Right, it's a zone all the way up there, and you want to be above it. It's important. That's tatty head for today's TA for fannies. And okay, yep, that's some tatty head TA there. Some tatty head TA. So I've looked like a potato that needs peeled. What else have I missed here in the super chats? Autumn Grace has become a member. Awesome, amazing, Autumn Grace. This is amazing. Old Capital Comics donated $5 through super chat. I bought NEGG stock at the top because I like the company. Also, a lot. I used it for years. Cool. Hoping you can tell me they will survive these crazy times. Survive? NEGG's more than going to survive. NEGG's got an amazing last few months on it there. Like, NEGG's more than going to survive. There's nothing bearish about this top either. This top here wasn't bearish, which is incredible, right? That's incredible. There was no bearishness on this thing. Incredible. The fact that it came down is perfectly natural. It's going to do more than survive. It's going to go on. This will make new all-time highs eventually. For sure it will. I mean, I'm saying that on this chart. What's it like overall? All-time highs is a big statement to make. Oh, it came up there. That's so natural that it would drop there in the 3-day when you see it. You know, even despite how excited you get looking at this, you zoom out to the 3-day and you think, well, it's like pretty... I mean, it's nearly a stick-on that is going to meet this trend and drop, right? And it did. You know, that's easy. That's not bad, guys. That's awesome, right? This thing looks fine. I know this is in a downtrend since 2011. And then no, it's put in a hugely awful bottom there. But that was in February 2020. We all know what was going on then. And then that return up there is not bad, right? I think this has got a lot going for it. Obviously, if people have decided it's going to survive, it looks like they have here. It looks like at $2.69 they made their decision, right? It's at $26.75 now. It doesn't have to be GME. Pull back to these sort of levels or around 222.15. Go on again. Oh, you guys are on the tiny screen again. Oh, I was just answering your guys' question. I don't think there's anything to worry about with NEGG whatsoever. If regards to like you using the company that you like, no problem. You don't have to buy the share price. You don't have to buy it at the top to support it. That won't make any difference to opposed to buying it at the bottom. But if you're buying it because you like the company and that, I don't think you've got a problem. I don't think you've got anything to worry about. If if you're not in it saying I want to make money in the next 5 minutes, cheers, then. That's cool, and like you aren't going to make money in the next 5 minutes, but it will be a time when you see NEGG back up at $100, and when it is high five, it's just not coming in the immediate future, but it will be there eventually. This is saying that in the face of lower highs and lower lows. That's crap, but I can see that this has changed, right? This is a change. There is a significant change here. If you could stretch that out and see, what does that say on volume? We got it, yeah, on our volume it says it there too, and this is on the 3-day time frame, so that's significant. That's the start of something. I don't know. We're not going to see that. I think you can kiss goodbye to the lows on this thing, and I think it's good. Okay, thanks everybody who tuned in. Thanks for showing up. You could have been anywhere. You were here. I really do appreciate it, especially standing in for Rocky. You give me all the time and respect you give him. You stick till the end. That's really appreciated. People who tune in afterwards and watch this, thanks so much. Thank you. I know lots of people are still expecting to see Rocky, so it's surprising to see me Thanks for putting up with me. And if you want to find me, I'll be on Boom Market, Close, and Tradespotting, Power Hour every day, all the time, forever, probably. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye. Thanks for all the donations and help. And I should run the credits. Let's do it because there was loads of them and they were huge. Unhide them. Are they going to be real? They'll be like included in the last ones, possibly now. They're unhidden and they stopped. So does it work if I hit roll credits? Should work now. I hit roll them. There they're rolling. Thanks for watching. And back my pajama, thank you so much. D Harker, you legend. Did I read that one at the time? I should have. I hope to God I did. You're such an amazing bloke. Daniel Assange, Supernova, Dan Weldo, Stephen Kimbler, Helvin H, Batman Pajama, Justin, B. Ray Woodworth, Andy L, Jen Campbell, Simon, Old Capital Comics, I Am Not a Cat, and a new member, Autumn Grace. I nearly missed names there because I read it so stupidly like an idiot. Thanks everybody. Really appreciate it. There didn't seem like all that many names came up. It's quite a lot of names. Didn't seem like all that many compared to the huge amounts people were putting in there. So thanks so much. You're all unbelievable legends. You're all unbelievable legends, and it'll all get put in. Well, as usual, all get put back to improving the channel and doing things better. So thanks. And if you've got any feedback for me on how I can make things better, I definitely want to do that. I want to have structured shows. I want to have like special bits that are all interesting. Like I want to have like a Saturday morning live show with Rich where we do like a little bit like gaffs. It's a little bit sometimes seems camp. It is a little bit in your face funny. We do make fun of other YouTubers' affects. I don't give a fuck. I want that to be something that people enjoy. I think there's a huge audience for that if I can just get exposure to them. But they don't tune in again. What am I doing wrong? I need to improve the structure. I need jingles in between sections of the show. I need a phone-in section. I need all sorts of stuff. I need it to just take cues from the best shows out there. And I will do that. And I see how that... I'm on the wrong thing to be finishing, haven't I? Because it's not the GME chart, and you always want to tune out on GME. I think that's sort of like a good luck thing. So I'm going to go back to GME and then say bye. Go GME, go GME, go. Go, 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 go. There it is, 178.15. Don't mind if there's a lower thing on that. I think we've got to touch the 50% now. I think that's going to happen. Maybe even go as far as 618. And I don't mind if it does. And if we're down there, 171, that's cool. If we're down below it, that's also not bad because we're putting in higher lows. And this is very trending up to top move on every possible time frame. You could even think about this is doing great. So see you then later on. Thanks so much, everybody. That's add source. So that's the wrong button. So I'm doing it wrong still. So I'll never get this stuff right at the end. Rolling the intro makes it easy to end it. It does. Good shout.